Joining me today is, in my opinion, the finest poker operator in the world. He's the man behind JP Poker, the Norwegian Poker Championship, and of course, the Irish Open. JP McCann, how are things?
That's some introduction. Thanks, Jamie. Yeah, good. I'm sitting here on the beach in Barbados at the moment.
Yeah, it's good to see that, the live poker obviously isn't happening. So good to see you're taking a bit of quality time for yourself now.
Yeah, it's the closest I'm getting to a holiday this year, believe me.
So JP, we know how 2020 has affected live poker, but we'll speak about that more in a bit. But there's some good news, at least for poker players in the online felt, with the upcoming Irish Open Winter Festival taking place in PaddyPowerPoker and Betfair Poker. Can you just tell me a bit about kind of the background to the series and how this idea came about?
Yeah, so prior to this year's Irish Open, prior to being cancelled, Paddy Power they were starting to become more involved in becoming full sponsors of events, and they were trying to put their clout behind the Irish Open. As you know, obviously the Irish Open didn't happen this year, and then they were looking to make a big push for 2021 with the Irish Open. And the original plan was they were going to start satellites for it in June. Then, as you know, everything that was going on with the coronavirus, things kept getting pushed back. So we kept telling to not start the satellites because we didn't know where we were with it, type thing. Yeah. And then normally Paddies would start their sats in October, November, with their first kind of big super satellite was always kind of traditional on Stevenson's night. And then that was the launch before the iPokers have their weekly sats the following week. So it was more of a Paddies wanted to do something to engage with their players who had played the Irish Open in previous years. It was looking increasingly like 2021 Irish Open wasn't going to happen. And so it was more of a case of trying to do something that they want to show a bit of customers who've been loyal to them down the years and have a bit of a giveaway at Christmas. So it kind of originated from that. And then there was talks that maybe one of the plans that we had for the Irish Open this year was we were going to do a bit of a live tour with Paddies, going around to various casinos where we'd have a 10 or 25 grand guaranteed with X amount of seats type thing. Yeah. So that was part of Paddy's commitment that they had to the Irish Open. And then all the plans that we had made kind of, as the weeks kept going on, the one plan after another, we just couldn't do on the live felt. So this was the natural progression to move it online, and sure everybody can play it online. And it's great. It's going to be a great festival. They put a lot into it. They have a lot of added money to the leaderboard there with 10,000 extra. But I think the top 5 are getting seats to the Irish Open. And then each night, everybody that plays gets, the top 3 in each of the terms get a free ticket to the main event. So, yeah, fair play to Paddies. They're putting a lot behind it, and they're it's good to see that our partners and sponsors of the Irish Open, while we're not at the live felt, are committed to the event, which is encouraging for when the event gets back going. That we'll hopefully kick on from where we stopped.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I suppose kind of just the Paddy Power brand itself obviously is such a big brand in Ireland. And I definitely remember kind of PaddyPowerPoker always felt kind of synonymous with Irish poker. So it's great to be seeing Paddy Power trying to kind of reestablish that link between themselves and kind of the everyday player. The tournament buy-ins, there's 3 events on every night. It's starting on the 26th of December. It's a €50, €20 and €10 buy-ins each night. So I think it's definitely one of those that the price point is very much aimed at the the regular kind of everyday player.
Yeah, 100%. And that was part of. So I sat down with the guys there, Paddy's, Scott and Brian, and we were looking at. I think they had the Royal Battle Pass or the Royal Battle Series, which was held in November, and they had another similar one there at the end of summer. And as I said, most of their players is geared more towards the recreational players. So this is exactly what we're trying to do with this. And I know even for allowing players to qualify for cheap, like they have spin and goals happening and stuff like that. So, but certainly at the price point you just mentioned there, it's very affordable, and it's very much in line with the Paddy Power ethos, which is very similar to our own line with the Irish Open, and how we try and attract recreational players. It's not just about the poker. As you know, when you come to the Irish Open, when you come to the live event, and this is why Paddy's wanted to keep the price point cheap there for people, that they could come in and they could play a couple of tournaments. And I know they have a tournament there. I think it's the 30th of December, the Ambassadors tournament, which I believe you're one of the ambassadors.
yeah, they're shooting high. They're shooting high this year. Yeah, so.
I know they've got a couple of footballers, I believe, coming in playing, and there's a bounty on all their heads. So they're trying to do something fun. And I know on New Year's Eve they have a Paddy Power themed tournament, which I don't know what the full team of that is, but I've been told it's going to be good. But yeah, again, you're mindful of the fact that this year is not going to be like any other year. Normally, we were talking off camera there about my family's tradition on Stevens' Day, where we'd go to the pub and we'd just watch the football and all the betting on the horses. So I think this year is going to be a very subdued year for most people, and a lot of people are going to be sitting at home. So I suppose there's only so much your family can take over Christmas. Put yourself into a bedroom and play poker for a few hours. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as you said, the kind of the €50, €20, €10 buy-ins every night. It gives people the opportunity, I think, to I think the thing with a lot of these kind of leaderboards is sometimes it can be difficult to commit to playing a full leaderboard or going for it. But with this, it's €10,000 added, so it's not taken from the prize pool. And as you said, you're looking at kind of €80 buy-ins every night. So it's affordable enough that if you're going well, it's definitely something you can kind of give it a good go. It's affordable enough. I said €10,000 added by Paddy Power. Top three every night getting €100 ticket to the main event. The main event is 50k guaranteed, and it's taking place. Day 1A is on January 1st, and day 1B is on January 2nd. Loads of other different events. There's PLO events, Six Max, PKOs, and as JP mentioned, the Ambassador tournament. There'll also be several Twitch streamers covering it, including Conor O'Driscoll, Phil McGrath, and Mark Bennett. So I'll post some links to their channels in the description below. As you said there, JP, you aside from all the time you'll be spending with your family, will you be jumping in a couple of events yourself?
I'll definitely play a couple of events, yeah. Now, I'm not sure how good I'll play if I jump in on Stevens' Day. I could do my normal, play 3 hands, bust we enter, play another 2 hands, and off to the bar.
Yeah.
But just another thing regarding the leaderboards I meant to say there, and you touched on people can't commit to playing sometimes for a full week for a leaderboard. So I believe what they are taking your best 10 results, because obviously with it being Christmas, people have commitments with family coming over or whatever the case would be. So it's not a case that the event is running for 10 days, I think, in total, maybe 11. No, I'm wrong. It's running for 8 days, Saturday to Sunday. So yeah, so obviously there's quite a bit of tournaments there in it. So they're not expecting people to try and commit to the full schedule, and they'll take your best results for the leaderboard.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Yeah. So we'll be giving away 5 €10 tickets for this series. To be with a chance of winning, all you have to do is retweet this video with your Paddy Power or Betfair screen name. So that's your poker screen name, not your login names. I'll post further details in the description below. But as we said, yeah, starting on the 26th of December, running up until the 3rd of January, I think is the final day of it, whatever the Sunday, the first Sunday of the new year is. So I said, should be a bit of crack. And as I said, good to see kind of Paddy Power connecting with the Irish poker community again, and should be hopefully a bit of crack for people to have over Christmas. So JP, I know there was a press release in the last couple of days regarding the 2021 Irish Open. Before discussing 2021, I just want to ask about 2020. Obviously, live poker the year has been a write-off, but you've adjusted and you've been involved in some different projects for the year. How have you found kind of dealing with the challenges that 2020 has presented?
So as I mentioned beforehand, I think we were one of the first, if not the first, event, a major poker festival to cancel. We cancelled it early in March. Now, I think we were 3-4 weeks prior to the event, and at the time, we got a couple of people say, "Oh, it's only a flu," and people booked flights coming from America and all this sort of stuff. And it's like ultimately the safety of the staff and the players is paramount, and it was just something that was getting away from us. And as I mentioned there off camera, the hotel were in contact with the HSE because obviously they have a lot of big conferences, and so we would have been talking with the hotel on a regular basis of what kind of procedures or new stuff that was coming in. And we thought about everything. So we'd cancelled the seniors event. We were trying to make it 6 max. We were taking half the tables out, and we were even looking at taking the guarantee off to discourage people traveling from abroad. But in the end, the right thing to do was to cancel it. Now we had another event which was going to be in City West Hotel in November, and we really thought that was going to happen. In fact, we thought we were going to run it at a big loss just to try and save the Irish Open for next year. Because at that stage, you kind of have to, after something like this, you have to kind of build confidence back in players to make sure that they feel that they're safe coming back into the environment. And we thought we'd be doing it before a vaccine came in, to be honest with you. But at this stage, it's not going to happen until everyone has a vaccine, realistically. But yeah, it's been a challenging year. Like the Irish Open, we would normally start working on the Irish Open a month after we finish the Irish Open. Like we have 400 staff, we'd have to start hiring. That process starts in September. So like as the years progressed, we're trying to pull the trigger on when we start planning for it. And we were at several stages this year. We've cancelled 3 other events this year that we had scheduled. None of them we released to the public, but we've been working on the background on them. Again, we've one now in January, which we've also cancelled, because we didn't think it was going to go this long. But we had to keep preparing for what our next event was, for what our scheduled dates were for our next event. Should it happen, we couldn't have the dates come good, and then we weren't ready for the event to happen, type thing. But it's been challenging, but we're in the same situation everybody in the world finds themselves in. You just have to adapt, and most importantly is when we get back there, it's back in a safe environment that we don't have any issues from our staff or from our players from somebody falling sick at the event, and that is primarily the most important thing. So we'll see everybody back at the real felts, hopefully the end of next year, maybe a bit sooner.
Yeah. Please God, yeah. I remember I discussed on this podcast before, just talking about kind of future Irish Opens or whatever. And I think just given the event, it's it's such a prestigious. All you can use all those words, but like just the crack and the enormity of the event is unbelievable. And I definitely was of the opinion that if the next Irish Open that does happen, you want it to be a proper one. You don't want to, it's very difficult to run the event in the proper way if you can't do it properly. You want people to be able to go to the bar, you want people to have drinks, you want people to be at the table having a crack with each other. So I think it's one of those things. You just have to wait till the time is right. And as I said, the state of the world at the moment, it's just there's not much that can be done.
That's for me, that's probably been the biggest thing with the Irish Open. I remember from years ago, I think I played it twice, but not even playing the main event, going up prior to when I was involved in poker and working poker, and there was live music late at night. There was now we brought in the shuffleboards and different entertainment at night time, and you'd go up and you'd meet friends that you haven't seen from a couple of months from the poker circles. Go up in the bar, you're having the crack. So it's not just about the poker. And I think that's one of the things that's worked really well with the event. And I remember that the first year that myself and Paul ran, it was 2016, we had 6 Canadians that came over. Nick O'Hara, another good friend of mine and term director, was working at an event in the Bahamas. And one of the girls was asking about, is there anything good coming up in Ireland? And he mentioned the Irish Open. So 6 of them came over. There's now over 120 Canadians come over every year. And they just love the atmosphere and the crack. And they can't get over the fact that people get knocked out of the main event. They go, all right, who wants to go for a pint? Whereas they're used to people getting busted out of tournament and they're fuming for hours on end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they just love the way we play our cards and the fun that we all have at the bar. So look, it'll be back. It'll be back. There's no doubt about it. We'll be back, and we'll be bigger and better when we come back. So that's
So that's the main thing and the most important thing. And I assume can we expect to see the Norwegians back at some stage as well, or has there been any discussions on that?
Yeah, so we spoke to Frode about this. Initially, he said he would look if the event ran at a later time next year. Initially, he was saying he would do it. The time slots up. So obviously, another problem that we kind of face at the moment is all the conference space. There's a massive reshuffle happening at the moment. So like City West Hotel, for example, they'd have us earmarked every Easter and the Norwegians beforehand. They'd have the darts at the start of October. So there's lots of big conferences that come in every year on the same dates.
Yeah.
So now, because everyone is scrambling for dates, there's a bit of a reshuffle. So the proposed dates that we have been given to run the Irish Open in the second half of next year, if that happens, is actually clashing with the other Norwegian championships, which is in Oslo.
Yeah.
So we will probably not see the Norwegians in 2021, but they'll be back in 2022, assuming we revert back to our Easter dates in 2022.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Yeah. So yeah, something to look forward to. Excuse me.
They're going there. Just may not be with us next year. That's all.
Yeah, look, I think for me anyway, the kind of live poker in 2021 is very much just kind of wait and see. So as I said, whenever it is back, that'll be great. And as I said, making sure it's being able to be done properly and safely is the most important thing. So as I said, I think there's an awful lot out of your control at the moment. So you just have to do the best you can.
Yeah, and that's it. It's every business is facing the same thing. Yeah. So there's no point in rushing back to this when there's a vaccine on the horizon, and let's everybody do the right thing and kind of stay at home and do the stuff that we're all been told to do. And then when the vaccine's out there, it's readily available for everybody, then things will start returning back to normal. And that's I guess the way it should be.
Yeah. I know you've been kind of working on different projects, a lot of kind of different online stuff this year. How have you felt? Just I suppose it's definitely forced a lot of us to kind of think more creatively about how to adjust in the business sense of things. Is there any part of you that's kind of maybe not enjoyed that process, but Joe said it's definitely forced you to look at kind of other avenues or think differently?
Yeah, like it's I suppose we would put an awful lot of our time and effort into obviously what happens on the live felt, and wouldn't have previously looked at running part of our business online or switching part of our business online. Obviously, as you know, the Irish Open went online last year and was very successful. But I think in general the poker has seen, which this actually could be good. This could be like the second coming of poker. Like it's there's certainly been a boom. And speaking to the boys at Paddy Power, they've seen so many of the people who used to play years ago returning back to playing on Paddy Power. So you might see the money maker-esque type spin out of this in the years to come, as lots of new people have come in. Like I've been playing with my friends during the lockdown, and I wouldn't play much online poker in the last couple of years. I wouldn't really have the time between the club and running live events and stuff like that. But we were having on Friday nights, we were having like a sit and go between us via Zoom call, and we're having to crack all night just drinking cans and playing poker online on Zoom, and it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. So long may that last as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a lot of people kind of either rediscovering poker or just as you said, definitely the first lockdown, a lot of friends of mine kind of that wouldn't have they might have played a couple of live games but never looked at online, started kind of getting into it and looking into it, and as I said, hopefully, you know, maybe some of them just lost their money and that's all we'll see of them. But hopefully more people just, you know, are brought to the game as a result of this. There could be a bit of a silver lining from it. One of the big things I've definitely found was trying to recreate that kind of live atmosphere in the online games, which I've definitely seen a lot of the sites are kind of focusing on that element, where you want this, like a lot of the, I know it's stupid stuff, but a lot of these kind of the emojis and stuff that you can use now, and the, you know, throwing tomatoes at people when you're playing. It's like, I think that it captures the live essence a lot better than kind of online poker was before. And what do you think? Do you think that's something that was kind of a consideration people hadn't thought about?
Yeah, I think that's brought a fun element, and I think that ties in more with the recreation players. So
yeah,
my poker club that I have in Tala there, so we were obviously closed, and then we reopened in July after the first lockdown. And I was in there, and a couple of guys that they were playing on various poker sites where they were throwing all this stuff, like they were throwing tomatoes at each other, and buckets of water, and a fishing rod, and all this sort of stuff. And I was saying, I don't get this. What? Every time I sit down, I get tomatoes thrown at me. I had to show him where it was in the fun. It was his first time like playing online. God love me, from 70 years of age, and just didn't understand it. You know what I mean? But there you go. There's a gentleman who's been playing poker with me for 15 years, has never played online. He's playing online, and he obviously prefers the live felt because he prefers having the crack on the table with the guys. But once he got around what white people were throwing tomatoes and sending them points of fishing hooks at him all the time. Got into it then. But I think it's been a good add-on for new people coming to the game. You see people playing, and I know it's completely different, but playing games on the phone. There's all these different things you can do on the phone. And it's kind of tying into that clientele, I think, a bit, which if someone come on and stay on and play poker, it's great for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, excellent. Yeah. JP, thank you for taking the time joining me today. So that I can only speak on behalf of myself, but I'm sure the sentiments are echoed throughout the whole Irish community when I say thanks for all the work you do, and thanks for putting on some of the best poker festivals in the whole world on our doorstep. It's much appreciated, and we'll all be back there whenever it's safe to do so, and we hope to see you then.
Thank you very much for your kind words, James, or Jamie, say, and I look forward to playing in the Ambassadors tournament, if not a few more tournaments during the Paddy Power Irish Open Winter Festival.
Yeah, excellent. We'll see you. So €100 on €100 bounty on JP's head, €100 bounty on my head. 30th of December is the Ambassadors tournament. As we said, if you retweet this video, you'll be in with a chance of winning a €10 ticket for the upcoming series. I'll post the description, or I'll post details in the description below. JP, thanks very much, and have a good Christmas.
Thanks, Jamie. You have a Merry Christmas to you, and I'm sure I'll see you at the Felts over the festival. I probably won't be there for long though.